Aprilia responds to Ducati after being taunted with buying plate number 1 remarks. Martin claims Aprilia's front end is superior to Ducati's. Let's dive into this discussion, so make sure to watch until the end. The rivalry between Ducati and Aprilia has intensified as the battle over MotoGP's prestigious number 1 plate takes center stage. Jorge Martin, who claimed the 2024 MotoGP World Championship aboard a Pramac Ducati, has since moved to Aprilia, adding fuel to the competition between the two Italian manufacturers. While Martin has yet to decide if he will race with the coveted number 1 plate in 2025, the very idea of Ducati's former champion representing Aprilia has stirred the pot between the two brands. In the aftermath of Martin's championship win, Ducati now faces a unique situation. Despite winning the title on a Ducati machine, Martin's shift to Aprilia means that their rivals could soon be celebrating with the reigning world champion in their camp. This transition highlights the complexities of rider movement and the prestige that comes with the number 1 plate. Even though Martin earned his title on a Ducati, his presence on an Aprilia creates a symbolic shift, representing not just the rider, but the momentum within MotoGP's highly competitive landscape. For Ducati, the 2024 season marked a dominant year, with Pramac, Ducati's satellite team, securing the championship, reinforcing Ducati's stronghold in the series. Pramac, as an extension of Ducati's factory efforts, had contributed significantly to the manufacturer's overall success. Though Martin didn't secure as many wins as his former teammate Francesco Bagnaia, his consistent podium finishes and ability to lead the standings by the end of the season proved his mettle. Meanwhile, Aprilia, having secured Martin's talents for 2025, is positioned to challenge Ducati's supremacy. Aprilia's acquisition of Martin and Marco Bezzecchi, another top-tier talent, reflects their ambitions to elevate their competitiveness. These moves signal Aprilia's intent to break Ducati's recent stranglehold on the championship. The combination of Martin's proven ability to win championships and Bezzecchi's rising star status makes Aprilia a formidable force for the upcoming season. On Ducati's side, the shift to 2025 brings new challenges but also renewed hope. With Marc Marquez joining their factory lineup and the development of the GP25 well underway, Ducati aims to continue its dominance despite losing a key figure like Martin. Ducati's leadership remains confident in their technical capabilities and development processes, expecting improvements from 2024 to 2025. However, they remain cautious about the unknown variables their competitors may bring, especially Aprilia, who now have a star-studded rider lineup and a newly appointed technical director. The dynamics of the 2025 season will not only be shaped by the individual talent of riders, but by the intricate developments of the machinery they pilot. Ducati's internal efforts to refine their GP25 over the winter could pay dividends, but they acknowledge that Aprilia, bolstered by their new signings and technical reinforcements, will be a significant threat. The next season promises to be a thrilling contest between two manufacturers vying for supremacy, with each pushing the limits of their engineering and rider performance to outpace the other. As the countdown to the 2025 MotoGP season begins, all eyes are on how the rivalry between Ducati and Aprilia will unfold. With Jorge Martin potentially flying the number 1 plate on an Aprilia and Ducati's faith placed in Marquez and Bagnaia, the battle lines are drawn. MotoGP's landscape is set to experience a seismic shift as these two titans of the sport prepare for what promises to be an unforgettable year of racing. As the clock ticked down on a tight 48-hour window, the newly crowned 2024 MotoGP World Champion found himself in the middle of a major transition. Jorge Martin, who had just claimed his first championship title by outdueling Francesco Bagnaia on the Desmosedici GP24, was now faced with the challenge of leaving his Ducati machine behind and stepping into a new chapter with Aprilia Racing. The excitement was palpable, not just because he was taking on a new challenge, but because this move came with a bittersweet twist. He was replacing his close friend Alex Espargaro at Aprilia. Despite all the attention on Marc Marquez and his test session, much of the paddock's focus also shifted towards Martin's highly anticipated debut on the Aprilia RSGP. It marked the beginning of a new era, not just for him, but for the Italian manufacturer, which had invested heavily in this move. For Martin, this wasn't just a bike switch. It was an opportunity to carry forward his momentum as the fifth Spanish rider to win the MotoGP title. The transition to Aprilia was not without its pressures, particularly because of the limited time Martin had to acclimate. Almost an hour into the official MotoGP testing session, Martin finally mounted his new bike. Without the iconic number 89 or even a definitive choice between keeping his old number or switching to number 1, an honor he had earned as the reigning world champion, he embarked on his first lap with Aprilia. Every corner, every straightaway represented not just his personal evolution, but the partnership between rider and machine that Aprilia hoped would lead them to even greater heights. Martin's technical crew, which included his longtime collaborator Daniele Romagnoli and trusted mechanic David Galacho, both of whom had been with him since his days at Pramac, were already on hand to evaluate his feedback. As the MotoGP cameras lingered on their interactions, the world waited with bated breath. Although Martin wasn't allowed to speak to the media, his early impressions and insights would play a pivotal role in shaping Aprilia's development for the 2025 season. Initial feedback suggested a promising start for the Spaniard. He immediately noted the differences between the Aprilia and the Ducati. The front end of the RSGP offered better stability than the Desmosedici, a key factor for a rider known for his aggressive cornering style. However, Martin faced a steeper learning curve in other areas. Aprilia's mapping system was still a work in progress, and the Spaniard had to adapt to the bike's handling, particularly during corner entries, where he felt the Ducati had offered more immediate responsiveness. The issue of wheelies during corner exits also posed a challenge that the team would need to address as testing progressed. Despite these hurdles, Martin's early feedback indicated that he was quickly finding his rhythm with the RSGP. In fact, by the time he wrapped up his first half of testing, the 26-year-old had the luxury of working with two distinct Aprilia machines, the RSGP 24, previously ridden by Espargaro and Maverick Vinales, and the RSGP 25, which bore his signature Martinator livery on one side. This gave him ample opportunity to compare the two models and begin tailoring his riding style to Aprilia's performance package. However, no MotoGP test would be complete without its challenges. As the day wore on, Martin's progress was interrupted by his first crash on the RSGP. It occurred at the infamous Turn 5 on the Circuit de Barcelona-Catalunya, a notorious spot for its technical demands and high-risk profile. Fortunately, the crash had no lasting physical impact on Martin, though it underscored the need for further refinement of the RSGP's new specifications. It was a reminder that even for a world champion, the path to mastering a new bike is fraught with risks. Hey MotoGP fans, don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated with all the latest action.